If you've got your braces or you're about to, there are few mistakes that can literally make your life miserable. And these aren't the obvious ones that your orthodontist tells you. These are the things that people only figure out after they have done them and then regret it for months. Today, we're going to break down the top things that you should never ever do when you first get braces. And stick around till the end because I'm going to share with you the number one mistake that everyone almost makes when they first get their braces. The first on our list is don't ignore the pain. First of all, don't pretend that you're invincible because in the first week, you'll probably feel pain because your teeth are moving and your gums are sore. So, the number one mistake here is when you try to ignore the pain, most likely you will try to eat the normal way. You'll probably be biting on a burger or a pizza crust or even a crunchy apple. So once you have your braces installed, you have to accept the fact that there are some changes that you need to make, especially with your food intake or your diet. In the first week of wearing braces, although not everyone may experience pain, but for those who might feel some sort of a discomfort, I encourage you not to ignore them because if you're gonna ignore the pain that you're experiencing with your gums and your teeth, then this will escalate more, especially when you try to eat your food. Honestly, even I am guilty with this one because I recall when I had my braces for the first time. I knew that there are certain foods that I need to avoid. At that time, I'm aware that number one, I still feel the pain and soreness with my mouth. Second is, I know that it's difficult to eat. And the third one is, if I'm not careful with the food that I'm gonna eat, then it can break my braces. But given all of those, I still ate the number one culprit that really broke my braces several times, and that is eating the fried chicken. This has been going for the first few weeks of having my braces for the first time. And again, I was ignoring the pain, but at the same time, I was breaking my braces. So I suggest that you don't opt for that route because eventually you're gonna suffer. So, the number one tip that I'm gonna share with you when you experience pain, especially when you're eating, is to go for softer foods. Examples of this would be mashed potatoes, yogurt, soup, or smoothies until your teeth adjust to your braces. So basically, for the first few days, you have to eat like a toddler. It's like a survival mode. Moving on, we have don't skip the wax. When you first get your braces, your mouth will need to adjust to the new wires and brackets. So expect that there's going to be some injuries in your cheeks and in your lips. And I'm telling you, if you're not wearing braces yet, this is one of the most uncomfortable stage of having those braces on. Your mouth will feel like being stabbed several times until you notice that your cheeks and your lips are swollen and bleeding. So my number one pro tip for this is you use your orthodontic wax. So this orthodontic wax will be your best friend for your whole journey of your orthodontic treatment, and they can easily be accessed through your orthodontist. Think of your wax as a band-aid, except that you can eat them, but please don't swallow them like a gum. Third is don't forget your oral hygiene. I've been talking about this in my previous videos of how important it is to have a oral hygiene and to make sure that your gums are healthy. So you can view that video on this link or in this description box below. But all I'm saying is you need to brush your teeth more meticulously when you have your braces. All I'm saying is you have to be more thorough in your oral hygiene, especially when you have your braces, because braces trap everything. Even the spinach that you didn't know you ate, it's gonna get stuck in there. So make sure that you brush your teeth at an angle, which is like 45 degrees, and above and below your brackets. Additional tools that you can use are the interdental brush, the floss threaders, or the water flosser. Also, I prefer the electric toothbrush rather than the manual one because I feel like it cleanses my teeth more. And actually, it really depends on your preference. It's just that based on my experience, I just feel like it does its job in cleaning my braces more. Next is don't be shy about speaking up. One of the mistakes is not telling your orthodontist that there is something wrong in the first week of having your braces installed. An example of this is a poking wire that can be tiny at first but can actually slice your cheek open. Your orthodontist is expecting you to call if something feels off, so they'd rather have you come in for a 5-minute quick fix rather than for you to wait for weeks and later on this can slow down the treatment. Trust me, they already have several patients before that come over for a quick fix. So if ever you think that you're kind of needy, you're actually not needy, you're being smart. Sometimes it's not really always about the pain, but it can also be about a loosened wire or a snapping of an elastic wire. So it's not always painful, but those incidents can actually mess up the movement of your teeth. And every day that it gets unfixed, your treatment gets delayed. The fifth one is don't get lazy with checkups. Now, here's another mistake that most people make once they already have their braces for a while, and that is skipping or delaying their adjustments. It usually starts with a good intentions. Maybe you're busy with school, work, or travel, but trust me, this is something that you need to be in your priority list. Your orthodontist sets your adjustment schedule for a reason. Each appointment is like a step on a staircase that leads to your final smile. Miss a step and suddenly you'll be in the same spot for weeks instead of climbing higher. Basically, orthodontics is about consistency because your teeth are moving little by little. So if you delay, it's like hitting the pause button. And guess what? This means that your braces will have to be delayed even more. So if your goal is to get them off sooner, make sure that you are on time with your adjustments. So the last one and the biggest mistake is not being patient. Braces are a marathon, not a sprint. So there are a lot of people that once they have already their braces on, they always check it with a mirror, even just in the first few weeks of having them. We cannot expect our teeth to magically line up overnight. Obsessing every time you look at your braces will only make you feel frustrated. So I suggest that you have to be patient and you have to trust the process because the small things they're not really that noticeable, but when you wait for several weeks or even months, then there's going to be real changes that you will never experience or see if you always look at your braces every day. Also, I can relate with this last one because imagine I've been wearing my braces for quite some time already, and every day and every month during my adjustments, I always remind myself that I have to be patient and I hope you do so, especially those who just had their braces installed. I know there's going to be a lot of things that will go on along your treatment, but trust me, once you go into the end, then that will be all worth it. Alright, guys, now you know exactly what not to do when you first get your braces. I hope you remember all of the things that we discussed today. If you avoid all of these mistakes, you'll save yourself from so much pain, frustration, and extra treatment time. And hey, if you want to know the perks of having your braces, you can check out this video. And if you want to know my braces updates for this month or last month, you can also check this video. So if you find this video helpful, please like and share. If you want to be updated with my braces journey, then you can subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you on my next videos.